Smith Layi, this is the one that has rocked the internet, has rocked social media since we heard the rumors. Only a few days ago, Victor Boniface renewed his contract with Bayer Leverkusen, but
Mhm.
that was only so that they can remove release clause and they can command for more transfer fee, similar to what Napoli did with Osimhen. When you actually think about it,
Mhm.
renew the contract just so that you can demand more money and everything. And then now we've heard that he's not even in their squad for their Champions League game, fully focused right now on completing negotiations with Al Nassr. The club is trying to complete negotiations, and he's potentially going to be teaming up with Cristiano Ronaldo in Saudi Arabia. I'll let you go first. What do you think about this move?
For me, you have to look at it in there's two sides to it. And I will say this. A lot of people have been saying that Boniface going to Saudi Arabia, what impact will it have on the Super Eagles? I beg to differ. Boniface has never contributed anything to Super Eagles before. So if Boniface is leaving to Saudi Arabia, I don't think that one will have impact on Super Eagles. My only fear about this is that a player that is playing Bundesliga and could not even raise his level that much in national team, if he's not playing in Saudi Arabia, how will his game look like? That is number one. This move favors him personally and people around him. But in general, as a Nigerian football fan, it's not our move, it's Boniface's move. So we have to put it that way. And I'm also hearing, I'm just going to come back and say a few things about it when you give your own submission. I want to summarize my thoughts. And it is it's going to repeat Talisca. The last time I saw Al Nasri lined up, it was a 4-2-3-1 formation.
Hmm.
And if he go to Al Nasri and he stay on the bench there, that would be a disaster.
Hmm.
That was going to be a disaster because I saw that lineup. I was looking at if this guy goes there and he stays on the bench, it's going to be a big disaster for him. So
Hmm.
for me, I think my summary is that I think this is Boniface's move. This is not Nigeria's move. So I wish him the very best of luck. It's a life-changing money. We know what has been reported. It's about 312,000 euros per week. So I think it's massive. It's a life-changing money. He should go there and enjoy. But one thing I want to know is this. Boniface have never built any legacy for himself in Europe. He's just starting. So it's just like a similar move like Oscar.
Hmm.
Oscar, Hazard, Joan Mata, De Bruyne started around the same time. But the others built name for themselves in Europe, but you cannot say the same as Oscar. Oscar
Oscar,
went to
Oscar went
China,
to go and build wealth for himself now.
well, and that was the end of the road. Go and
But
see Oscar
you
now.
know, you know what I liked about Oscar? He did
Mm-hmm.
not lie to us. When he
Mm-hmm.
went, he told us, I need to go and take care of my family. My
Yes,
family comes from poverty and I need to take care of them.
yes, and it might be something for him too. Maybe it might be one to your family. It might be he wants to be balling.
Mm,
Any of those two things can be what Boniface actually was wanted, but it could be two things. So it's just like someone. I will see him as a person that is just the guy that is never really fulfilled his
mm,
potential, if he goes this way.
mm. I'll say this. Boniface not my guy. I don't follow and talk a number of times. We've not spoken about Saudi. So just
Mm-hmm.
so you guys are aware, we've not spoken anything about Saudi.
Mm-hmm.
But the last time I spoke to him, he was telling me, guy, I don't care what anybody say. I don't care what people talk about me. Whether you like me or you don't like me, I don't care. I don't care. So Boniface is going into this, in my opinion, with that same mindset of I don't care what AyoT says. I don't care what Smith Layi says. I don't care what any Nigerian fan says. I'm going to do what I think is good for me. The reality of it is that the only reason that somebody of Boniface's age, stature, caliber moves to Saudi right now is money.
Mm-hmm.
There is no other potential
Yes, no,
benefit
that is no.
except money. As a football fan, from somebody that likes him as a football player, it is sad to see. I have to be honest. It is sad
Mm-hmm.
to see.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see Nigerian players play well and rise to the very, very top of their games in the biggest leagues for the biggest clubs. Now, does he mean that he cannot still come back and have a career in Europe? No, he can still come back. He can still come back. He can still come back. I think so. He can do 2 years and come back. Again, he might not come back to the same level, but he can come back. But for me, I'm also looking at it that I usually see, I've spoken to many Nigerian players. You mentioned Leke James when we're talking about Moda. I have an interview with Leke James that's coming out in a couple of weeks. And one of the things, Leke James, if you remember, moved to Saudi in 2021 and played in China early in his career. And then in the past few years, he has been battling with injuries. He has not been able to play a competitive match of football since June 2023. And in that interview, spoiler, but one of the things he said is that, bro, that's the reason why I do not regret making that move to China and Saudi early in my career. Because if not that he went and made money back then, he doesn't know how things would be for him today, since he has not been able to play in almost 2 years. But the difference is that Leke James was playing in Norway. Boniface is playing in Germany.
Yes.
He's playing for the champions of Germany.
Yes.
He's playing for a team that got to the final of the UEFA Europa League.
Yes.
It is a different stature. It is a different level. He's making money. He was already making 3 million a year. So it's not like he's broke. 3 million versus 15 million, big difference. I understand. If you offer me 50 million now, I'll move to Saudi tomorrow. I don't go lie give you. But at the same time, from a football fan's perspective, from a football fan's point of view, it's not what we want to see. It doesn't make me happy. It is going to make him and his family happy if the transfer goes through. But then again, Sadio Mane, Angelo, Cristiano Ronaldo, Otavio, where does he fit in? Is he going to go and play back up to Cristiano Ronaldo? You know, that Ronaldo no like come out pitch. If you are playing back up to Ronaldo, unless you guys are already winning like 3-0 before Ronaldo go say, okay, let me leave so that somebody else can come and play. Or maybe you are chasing a game and then you can bring him in. So I just don't know how he's going to fit. I don't know how much he's going to be playing. I don't know if there's any chance that his level can stay the same or can even get better. It's very early in his career. He's just starting to build a name for himself. This is a player that was linked to Manchester United, linked to different clubs, linked to different top leagues around the world. It's a very shocking move. It's a very, very shocking move. Like you rightly compared it to the Oscar move that time. That's what it reminds me of, really, because it was out of nowhere. You're starting your career, you're getting to the limelight, and all of a sudden you're making a money move. I don't know his upbringing that well. I don't know how much his family, maybe in poverty or anything. I don't really know his story that well like that. I'm not that close to him, but I know that he's good right now. I know that I feel like he can advance in his career. I feel like he can still win top trophies in his career. I feel like he can still make good money in his career playing for good clubs. If he continues in this trajectory, there's no reason why he cannot go to a big team and make even more money. So it's something that doesn't make me too happy. And as far as Super Eagles, for me, again, I'm one of the people that is on the camp of I don't judge Boniface as a failure in the Super Eagles so far. That's my own personal opinion. I feel like he has played 8 matches, 4 of them were good, 2 were okay, 2 were bad. He has not scored a goal. That's a fact. Nobody can take that away. But for me, I don't necessarily look at him in the Super Eagles and say, oh, he's been terrible. But he has not scored. The only thing that I would say now is that moving to Saudi, people like me can no longer argue for you. People like me can no longer argue for you. I don't know how I'll come and say, oh, he scored against Al Fateh, so he should be in the Super Eagles squad. I cannot argue that argument. So for somebody that has not yet stamped himself in the Super Eagles team, for somebody that has not yet built a legacy for himself, I think this move might just be dwindling those chances of actually becoming a big player for the national team. We remember Boniface was upset when he didn't get nominated for the Player of the Year. He was upset. And then when he was upset, it gave me the impression that he has big ambitions. He has big dreams. He wants to achieve something. So all of a sudden, what happened to those ambitions? What happened to those dreams? They just brought good money and all those ambitions went away. Again, nobody made they offer the money. So maybe it's easy for me to say. Because if they offer me, I've said it, if they offer me 15 million, in fact, 15 even plenty, give me 10 million, I'm in Saudi. In fact, give me 5 million, I'm in Saudi tomorrow. So it's easy for me to say because I'm not the one that is there. But from a football fan's point of view, from a Nigerian fan's point of view, this is not the move that I want to see Victor Boniface taking. Again, I don't like talking to players about their transfers because I'm not their agent. It's not be my business. Because we have a relationship, it's not my place to tell you what transfer to make, unless you ask me. Some players actually would DM me and say, bro, I remember one player at 20 something had an offer in China, young player, and he told me, bro, what would you say if I moved to China? He literally asked me, like, I want your honest opinion. If I moved to China, what will you say? And I told him my opinion on it, and he eventually stayed in Europe. I don't say it's because of me, or maybe he asked plenty people, but he eventually stayed in Europe. And I would have wished Boniface would choose to stay, but the way things are progressing, it looks like he's going to make that move. My own is that Victor invite me to Saudi. That's my own. Smith Layi, you want to add to it?
Yeah. So like I say, I wish him the very best of luck. I think that a lot of Nigeria have been sending me DMs and everything. Don't be disappointed because I don't. It's not a player that I think the Super Eagles will miss. No, that is just one thing because it's not as if it's a crew. It was a very important member of the national team. So for me, he can go wherever he actually wants to go to. It's another player. That's why I normally say something about mentality too. When the Saudi Arabia people normally come to Europe, they look at people they normally attack. They know some people that are very vulnerable to things like this. Why did Lukman reject the Saudi Arabia move? Why? So go to Saudi Arabia. Lukman, go to why did Lukman reject Saudi Arabia? Why do you think he wants to stay in Europe and compete? Lukman is building something for himself that can last him forever. See, let me tell you something. Sometimes your name can even outlive you, because of the name you've actually was built. What do you think we remember in Boniface for? If the career actually was nose dive directly, to Saudi Arabia, people will say that, oh, he's going to Saudi for 2 years, he's coming back to Europe. I'm telling you here, mark it down. When Boniface is coming back, he's coming back to Bekista, Sabi Fenerbahce or this. This is where he's coming to. He's not coming to Chelsea or anything. Forget about that one. I wish him the very best of luck. It's very hard. It's very difficult to actually argue for him now. He should go and be doing his nutmeg in Saudi and drop shoulder. I wish him the very best of luck. He should go and stay there, make his money. Super Eagle will produce a different striker that will be very effective for us in the long run. That's my take.
No, I mean, it's a very difficult one, man, because again, when somebody is presented with life-changing money, I'm not going to be. If you remember, I was here saying when Osimhen was linked with Al Hilal, I said, if I'm Osimhen, I'll take the money.
Yeah, Osimhen can argue for Osimhen.
But the thing was that, again, Osimhen has already established himself in the national team. Osimhen has gotten nominated for Ballon d'Or. He had already done things that, have put him in that world-class
African Player of the Year.
Yeah. And it's different for Boniface that has not achieved that yet. Somebody that is still coming up, somebody that has high potential. For somebody like me, the reason why this thing is doing me so much is that I've been praising Boniface since he was in Norway. Since Norway, I remember I tweeted.
Yeah, I remember now.
There's a tweet I made back then when they were talking about Bodo Glimt, and I was saying there is a Nigerian player in this team called Victor Boniface. Watch out for him. I've been hyping him since then. I've watched him go to Belgium, hyped him in Belgium. I remember that time people were arguing with me, Boniface Orban. I've been fighting for him since. Go to Germany. I've been hyping him in Germany. Even up until last week, I still argue for him when people are talking about Super Eagles. I'm still defending him. This move just makes me feel stupid.
But I want to ask you a question before we leave Boniface. Ekong of PAOK and Ekong of Al Khartoum. What's the difference?
Al Khaloud, you mean?
Al Khaloud. What's the difference between Ekong of PAOK in Europe, playing in Greece, and Ekong of Al Khaloud? What's the difference? The game has dropped. His game has dropped. Osimhen of Napoli and Osimhen of Turkey. What's the difference?
The game, you play up to your competition. That's the reality. So if you are facing lesser competition, it's hard for you to get better. It's hard for you to get better. That's just the reality. Ekong zone, I'll look at it differently because Ekong is even an older player. So naturally, you expect him to be declining a little bit. But Boniface is still on the upward trajectory. In fact, Boniface just the start. He's just starting.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, he got injured. I know some people are saying that okay, maybe because of his injury history, he wants to just cash out because he always gets injured, so he doesn't know maybe it can affect him in the future. I don't know. You know, that could be a reason, but just from a pure fan point of view, from somebody that has been someone that has been fighting for him, somebody that has been hyping him for many years since he was in Norway to Belgium to Germany, this is not what I wanted to see. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know how I'm going to argue for him again. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm going to do for him again. And also from a branding point of view, because you guys know I'm a big branding person, how do we reconcile it? Because if
Mm-hmm.
you've built a legacy already and then you go there, you can still hang on to the brand that you've created in Europe and I've created in Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
Boniface has not yet built that brand for himself. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
he's really actively doing anything to build that brand other than his jokes on social media. There's not much of a brand around Victor Boniface. Now going to Saudi is even going to detach him further from the Nigerian audience, detach him further from the global audience. So it makes it even harder to build that brand. Um, I don't know, man. I don't know. See, the reason why fans can never be excited about a player going to make money is because you're not gonna
The
share the money,
benefit.
give us.
Uh-huh.
You're not gonna share the money, give us. So even if they are paying you 500 million, how does it benefit me in any way? How does it
Mm-hmm.
affect me? So me, I'm looking at it from a purely football point of view. I'm not your family
Mm-hmm.
member. You're not going to buy a house for me. You're not going to buy a car for me. Even $100, you're not going to give me out of the salary. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like from a purely fan point of view, there's nothing that makes me excited about this
Yeah.
move,
Yeah.
bruh.
So IoT, I want you to respond to this comment because this is your comment.
Hmm.
He said forget branding.
Forget
Which branding
branding.
past
Which
50
brand pass
million?
euros per
Uh-uh.
year? See again, I look at this and I say this is one of the things that plagues Nigerian footballers.
Yeah.
Nigerian footballers do not value themselves, and
Mm-hmm.
Temi unfortunately does not value him either. Because the reality of it is that he can stay in Europe and easily make 10 million a year. He can
Yes.
stay in Europe easily, make 10 million a year, establish a legacy, build a brand for himself, and when he retires for the next 40 years, he will keep on making money. You
Yes.
make 50 million a year for maybe 3-4 years in Saudi, and then you retire and you don't make jack for the rest of your life.
Uh-huh.
Long term, you have to think
Just
long term. You have to think
just
post football.
one wrong business can shape this money.
See, that's the thing. You have to think.
Hmm.
Is again, I know that upfront money, and see, there's another thing. I'm not referring to Boniface here. I'm just talking in general. Upfront money, when you've not seen that kind of money before, if somebody just come and just offer you $1 million now upfront, you'll be tempted to jump at it. But you don't think of maybe okay, if I take 5 million now, I take 2 million next year, and then you pay me 1 million for the next thing. It all adds up. People don't really think like that because all upfront money seems so exciting. I strongly believe that if a player develops the right brand for himself, invest in the right businesses, leverages the brand that he's created, he will make more than 15, 20, 30, 100 million euros if he plays his cards right and puts his money in the right things. So again, it's just the fact that maybe you don't value the guy. You don't think that, oh, he has that kind of potential. Whereas I do. I think Nigerian players have that kind of potential. I think
Mhm.
Victor Osimhen has that kind of potential. I think Lukman has that kind of potential. Iwobi has that kind of potential. Boniface has that kind of potential. It's all about what you do while you're playing football and how you leverage your brand.
Yeah, sorry. Yesterday, there's a breaking news now that the agreement is done, but they just kept it somewhere. They're still looking for Duran, the guy
Hmm.
from Aston Villa,
Aston
and
Villa.
also Darwin Nunes from Liverpool.
Hmm.
So, but we wish him the very best of luck anyway.
Wishing the best of luck. And Temi is doubling down and saying Boniface's brand will hardly give him 50 million a year. The current brand wouldn't, but if he
Mhm.
works on his brand and he builds his brand, he will make that kind of money. He might not make it in a single year, but again, it is over a period of time. You are going to retire at 35, you are going to die at 90. Which money are you going to make between 35 and 90? That's
Mhm.
what I'm asking you to think about. That's what I always ask Nigerian players to think about. If you don't establish a brand, you retire at 35, you'll just have that money. God help you if you invest in the wrong thing. God help you if you don't know how to keep on making money. God help you if you don't know how to build yourself further. I mean, the reality of it is that it's a lot of money, but when you start living a particular lifestyle, it's hard for you to drop down from that lifestyle. Even
Mhm.
when your income has dropped, you still want to live the same lifestyle you were living
Mhm.
before. And it's hard if you're not making money. It's hard if you're not
Mhm.
making money. See, I hope he gets the right people around him. I hope he hires financial advisors. I hope he gets the right team around him. I hope he hires a brand manager because at least he has money, he can still do things. I wish, see, I like Boniface as a guy. I like him as a football player. I wish him all the best. I do honestly wish him all the best. But from a fan's point of view, it's not an exciting one for us. Like, I'm sure even he knows that it's not an exciting thing for us. I will not be happy to hear, but he'll
Yeah.
probably not care because it's his life at the end of the day. You know,
Yeah.
if he gets injured and his career is over,
Who will care to?
you know, we'll move on. We'll move on to another player.
Who was
So
another player?
everybody has to do what they think is in their own best interest.
Mhm.
That's the reality. But yes, let us take some comments. Let us take some comments before we move on. Let me see. Abdullah says, I hope and pray he signs 3 years contract with Al Nassr. Okay. Let me see. TC Gogo says Saudi players finished us for AFCON finals, talking about the Ivory Coast players. Okay. Daniel Farmagon says perhaps they sign him to replace Ronaldo when he retires. Ronaldo ain't going anywhere anytime
Don't
soon.
go anywhere. You know that I want to go and attack World Cup.
Ronaldo is not going anywhere anytime
Home
soon.
soil.
Taiwo Okunade says with that magnitude of signing, Boniface won't be benched. So who do we think is going to replace? That's the question. Because in that attack, I don't see him benching Sadio Mane. I don't see him benching Angelo. Because Angelo is young but he's balling. I don't see him benching Otavio because he doesn't even really
Have
play
you
that position.
good?
I don't see him benching Cristiano Ronaldo. That one is a joke.
What about Sadio Mane?
I don't see him benching Mane. Maybe if Mane is off form, he can get some games. But if Mane is playing well, like let's be realistic now. Mane is Mane. Mane has built his legacy. Like Mane is
Mane is Mane everywhere.
Mane.
Mane has been even considered for like Roma to come back, big because of what he did.
Yeah, Mane has already built
He
his
has not
name.
done anything.
It's different. Limelight says that's my point. IoT, the guy is not broke. He currently has the potential to play in the Premier League. His value will still rise, and maybe in 2 years' time he can make the move to Saudi too early. Yeah. Temi says Ronaldo's contract expires this year, and that's Ronaldo will be renewed at 40. Be doubting, you'll see it happen in front of you. Ronaldo is not stopping.
You have come to watch that game. No be Ronaldo.
Digital currency says I can stay on the bench throughout social amount of 2 years, 30 million money in water. I can retire from there self. Again, I like even me, give me 30 million, I'll go. But that I'm not a footballer. I'm not somebody that has footballer potential of making that kind of money. I'm not. Yes, it's different. Like now with what I'm building with EaglesTracker, if you come and offer me 10 million today to stop EaglesTracker, I wouldn't.
You will not.
I wouldn't. I'm telling you, because I believe that. See, there's I would say like the potential is too much. I will make more than that money in my life, guaranteed. I'm sure. So I wouldn't take it. If you offer me 50, okay, maybe. But honestly, if you offer me 10 million now, so but again, it's different from a fan looking at that kind of money versus a player that's already making millions. Boniface is already making millions. They already renewed his contract to 6 million. He can join a top team and make 10 million, 12 million. I know that tax is a different situation, but for me, it's different. If person who never see money before can easily jump for something like that. But if you believe in your potential, in your ability to create wealth, to create value, there's people that start companies and they turn down $50 million offers to buy their company because they believe in their company and the potential value of what they are doing. So this again, that's why I said it's all about how much you value yourself. And Ameka says, I believe the coach of any Super Eagles player or team has the option to select players irrespective of league. So if Boniface keeps playing very good, nobody is saying he cannot still get called up. It's up to the coach. But again, I'm just saying it's going to be hard to fight for him. It's going to be hard to fight for him. Let me see. Okay. Allen says, I think Bonnie considered his possible ACL injuries and needs to cash out. Maybe that's the case. Maybe that's the case. Who knows? Who knows? John Jones says the deal could have worked hard and moved to Bayern or Juve. Okay. Daniel says Osimhen could still come back from Al Hilal to Chelsea. He has the name. Adedotun is saying 102 people watching and only 37 likes. Please don't hesitate to click the like button. Thank you, Mr. Adedotun, for that. Please, guys, click the like button. Click the like button. So many people watching, but so few likes. Please click the like button and support the channel. If you're not giving super chats, if you're not giving membership, at least like the video for us. I saw somebody earlier was complaining that, he doesn't like the ads. I said become a member. It did not reply. If people don't want to help us, give us money to grow the channel, Then the small ads where then they show you still
You
they
do
complain.
premium. I can survive with premium.
Or I mean, if you don't want to give me the money, you can pay YouTube for premium and you don't see ad at all. But
Mhm.
you don't want to give YouTube money, you don't want to give EaglesTracker money, but you want to enjoy the two of them together. You say, I think now. Think now. So if you don't want to if you become a member, the ads are not showing up for members. So that's why I say you
Mhm.
can become a member of the channel. But if you just want to be enjoying content for free, then you'll bear with us and enjoy the adverts too. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
Okay. CCO says, Omo, you should go and make money. Life after football matters. He's not earning up to 40K in Germany. Let me see. Let me see. Limelight says it's a sad move, but let's move on, Jerry. My space, I appreciate your heart, IoT. So much potential loss. Honestly, consider investing in these guys, but only if the return is good, which depends a lot on the player's mindset. Temi says Okocha is the greatest branded Nigerian footballer. Ask Polo how much Okocha makes. You think Okocha built a brand? Don't let me get started. You think Okocha maximizes his potential? Do you really think so? Okocha is
But you're
popular.
selling for all
He's
this
not
Sky
popular.
things, Sky Sport and
Yes,
everything.
that's because of the brand that he started to build after he was done playing football. You think Okocha maximized it while he was playing football?
No, I don't think
You
so.
guys, you don't know what you're talking about. That's what you really think Okocha had. Oh, look at Okocha's mates. Okocha's mates are Ronaldinho.
Mm-hmm.
Those kind of players. You think Okocha capitalized on his brand the way he could have?
Hmm.
Let me move on. Someone says he's replacing Talisca. Yeah, we know he's replacing Talisca, who just joined Fenerbahce. Let me see. It's a 4-4-2, Ronaldo and Boniface up front. Okay.
Well, the one picking for we'll be picking this formation.
Temi says IoT 10 million USD. You wouldn't. Do you know what 10 million is? Again, I know what 10 million is. I also know my potential. You don't know me. You don't know what I value myself. You don't know the let me not start bragging here. I see again, I've said it before I die, I'll make way more than 10 million. So is you think everybody I mean well, let me not talk. Let me not talk. Everybody thinks, there's always something that they say, like everybody thinks everybody's like them. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
thinks everybody thinks like them.
Mm-hmm.
I can't lie to you. 10
So,
million.
I'm going to ask you a question, IoT. Do you think there's any way back for Boniface in this Leverkusen team if this move did not go through?
I mean, I think so. I think so. All it takes is an injury to somebody else, one thing or the other. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I think so. I think so. Sorry, let me just even give you an example. Somebody like Mark Angel Comedy,
Mm-hmm.
if they had offered him 10 million when he was first starting, or 1 year or 2 years into it, people would have said, "Are you crazy? Why won't you take that kind of money? Blah, blah,
Mm-hmm.
blah, blah, blah." How much has that guy gone on to make only from YouTube alone?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't
Hmm.
it more than 10 million?
Yeah, more, way more.
So that's what I'm saying. People don't know potential.
When they were making like how many about
See,
500K per month or things
see,
like that.
I said people don't understand when you know your value, when you know that how you can even make more money in the future, when you think big. People don't understand these things. People don't understand these things. Don't worry, just keep on following me. When you start seeing me driving Lamborghini, and no day surprise. Oh god. Um Taiwo Kunade says, my only question now is that does playing inside everybody define a player's position in the national team, provided they're informed? It doesn't define a player's position, no, but it makes it harder for people like us to argue for you. That's what I'm saying. Again, it doesn't mean you're not still a good player. It doesn't mean you're not still somebody that can do well for the national team. But if you are playing well in Saudi versus somebody that is playing well in England, Germany, France, Spain, Italy, it's hard to argue for the Saudi player, especially when it's not like that Saudi player has already established himself.
Mm-hmm.
If Arokodare comes now and Arokodare starts banging in goals, even in that Belgium, people will not want to be looking at Boniface again. This is a
Yes.
Boniface that some people are already saying he should not even be the national team, even in the Germany that he is, because he has
Mm-hmm.
not scored in 8 games. Now
Mm-hmm.
imagine if he's in Saudi, you now say, oh, he scored against Al Fateh, so call him up, or he scored against Al Wasal, so call him
Mm-hmm.
up. Think about it now.
But
Imagine
he
if
got he
imagine
got
if imagine if he's not now banging in goals like that in Saudi, people will not even want to hear his name at all. So I like him. You see, I love Victor Boniface as a human being, man, but it's tough. It's tough.
his stuff, yeah, I know.
Shout out to Logistics Jeff. He has donated $5 towards my 10 million. Thank you, logistics. Thank you for the super chat. That's $5 towards my 10 million. Thank you very much. Okay, let us move on.